Setting up a special trip to Stonehenge during Alex's birthday month made sense. After all, it was one of his bucket list items. However, there was something else nudging me to book this trip through the English countryside. For months before we moved to the UK, I had this recurring dream in 2019 where some dude who looked like Tommy Flanagan told me to expedite our travels out of Los Angeles to London. Every time I had one of these dreams, it was set at night facing some lone tower on a hill that he would just point to, telling me to go there, to hurry up and leave the United States. And then I'd wake up. Just out of curiosity, I started Googling Tower on a Hill in the UK to see if I could match the dreamscape from my mind's eye, and spotted Glastonbury tour. So to make good on the advice from the mysterious Sons of Anarchy meets Merlin-esque man in the dream, Glastonbury just had to happen. I thought about how none of us knew at the time that a pandemic was about to ravage the world when these dreams started in October 2019, and yeah, the US at the present time here in August 2020 isn't handling it very well. I didn't know what to expect on this trip through southern England, but we did follow a dream. Our journey through Stonehenge was not how we had initially planned. With the onset of COVID-19 lockdowns around the world, all the travel plans we had to include Stonehenge came to a screeching halt until we had the opportunity to take a small van with Stonehenge guided tours to see Stonehenge, Glastonbury, and Avebury mid-July 2020. We had a private tour set up with Nicholas, a walking lexicon of regional history, and began the day at 7 a.m. and made our way to Stonehenge, about a 2-hour, 145-kilometer drive from our home in East London. Alex, our 2 kiddos, and I had no real idea what to expect, but the lasting effects of this stay will surely remain with us for a lifetime. Our morning began with a visit to Durrington Walls and Woodhenge, the 4,500-year-old home of the Stonehenge Builders Village, which sets a scene for Stonehenge itself, which slowly revealed itself to us just a few kilometers over the horizon. Stonehenge, before COVID-19 hit everywhere around the world, could see up to about 10,000 visitors a day and millions per year. This morning around 9:20 a.m., however, was a meager line of maybe 20 people looking to confirm their tickets. Considering the safety of social distancing and my general ennui around large groups of people, I wasn't one to complain. Passing Bronze Age burial mounds and then making our way in an empty bus from the visitor center down Stonehenge Avenue, we arrived at this ancient wonder of the world completely alone. You know those surreal moments in your life where you ask yourself if you're just aware in a lucid dream or questioning your current reality? Yeah. Being alone with my family at Stonehenge was one of those moments. Taking roughly 1,500 years to build, Stonehenge's foundations began in 5000 BCE, and the first phase of the tongue and groove construction began around 3000 BCE and is known as the most complex stone circle in the world. We complete our morning at Stonehenge with a leisurely walk around the stone circle and visitor center. Our guide Nicholas brings to life this enigmatic, ancient, and mysterious monument. After we took pictures and soaked in the gorgeous summer morning around Stonehenge, we made our way to the bus where Alex made an interesting discovery. He removed around 6 spiders dancing on my head from my hair as our bus made its way back to the visitor center. Aside from the spiders magically appearing in thin air and having a fabulous little orgy on top of my melon, Stonehenge gave us a sense of wonder, peace, and was an amazing start to the day. Alex checked off a top bucket list item during his birthday month, and we were on our way to Glastonbury. About an hour west of Stonehenge lies Glastonbury Tor, the mystical Isle of Avalon, where, as legend has it, King Arthur was brought after being mortally wounded in battle. But this stop on the itinerary was no accident. If you watched the Los Angeles episode of Arrivals and Departures, I mentioned how we left LA just as the travel bans were starting. Our move to the UK happened this past March, and while we had the option to move this summer, we took the earlier move date. And we did so at the right time. Thanks, Merlin, Tommy Flanagan, cold druid dude, whoever you are. Before this day trip, I spoke with one of my spiritual buddies, Tony, who also happens to be an Iraq War veteran who is also based in Ramadi. He went through this bizarre, scary health crisis years ago and emerged from it combining physical therapy and spiritual healing for others. I vaguely mentioned the dream of a tower on a hill in a phone call days before the trip, and he told me that this whole journey was connected to ancestral healing and personal trauma healing. And when I arrive at the tower, to go to the northeast corner and stand alone for at least 15 seconds, and I'll see a message or sign. I had no real expectations of anything special happening, but if any of that was going to happen, then cool. I followed Tony's advice, stood in the northeast corner, but a lot of people were passing by and I couldn't easily focus. I then turned toward the corner of the building, looking at the walls, and spotted something. I'm not sure if I should say what happened, but it was both slightly spooky and spot on for a question I wanted an answer to. I definitely want to go back at night, though. After our brief hike up the Tor, we walked through High Street, where I bought a new tarot deck, and then to Glastonbury Abbey, King Arthur and Lady Guinevere's burial site. But the spookiness doesn't end with Glastonbury. Oh wait, there's more. On to Avebury Henge. We close out the mystical journey in the afternoon at the Avebury World Heritage Landscape. We visit Silbury Hill, the largest human-made hill in prehistoric Europe. Wandering through Avebury with its beautiful medieval village is situated inside the largest stone circle in Europe, Avebury Henge. Our guide brought us to two large stones that stood like a gateway from one side of the path to the other. And I shit you not, walking through it was hair-raising. Avebury is special. And as we walked through the stone site, feeling the strange yet powerful energy, Nicholas directed us toward a tree where J.R.R. Tolkien sat and wrote Lord of the Rings. He too felt there was something quite special about this place. Standing here among the stones, I could see why. Our guide was also an enabler of both historical preservation and ancient mysticism, then asked me what brought us to book this trip. Getting to know him a bit better through his talks along the way, I mentioned the dream of the tour, feeling safe that I wasn't going to be judged for it in any way by this time. "Ah, you were called here then," he said as we continued about the ley lines and how Glastonbury was part of this mystical pathway where the third eye and heart chakras of Mother Earth meet. Nicholas also talked about upcoming trips back to Stonehenge to really experience the magic and maybe even meet the eco-warrior neo-druid Arthur Pendragon. Because why the hell not? Avebury's energy was quite a trip. My atheist spouse and our kiddos all felt the eerie pressure in our chests and a sense of calm all around that no one could explain. I'm no expert on the history of ley lines or the New Age pull of the area, but I can say that this was easily one of the most unexpectedly cool trips ever. We left Avebury and drove over 2 hours back to East London, where we said our farewells to Nicholas and closed out one incredible, ethereal, magical day. And it all started with following a dream.